Hello, folks. Thank you for listening to Mountain Mule Media, Connecting Montana. I'm your host, Tim Baldwin. This podcast is a production of Mountain Mule Transportation. It was created to help locals and travelers connect more deeply with the businesses and people who make Montana such an incredible place to live and visit. In each episode, I sit down with Montana business owners and community leaders to hear the story behind their work, how they got started, what they've built, and how they help create a better experience for both residents and visitors. If you enjoy this podcast, please subscribe on your favorite platform. And if you use any of the services or businesses you hear about here, let them know you heard about them from Mountain Mule. And when you need private transportation with Montana's hospitality, please think of Mountain Mule Transportation. Thank you for your support, and I hope you enjoy the show as we keep connecting Montana. Okay, we're going.
Cool.
Melanie West, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about Montana Whitewater?
Montana Whitewater. It's been a pretty wild ride. I've been there personally working as the GM for about 7 years now. So I started right before COVID in 2019.
Oh, wow.
So there's been a lot of changes in my time there, but from Bill Zell started the company back in 92, and he took probably about 10 people rafting the first couple years and operated out of the Funky Farm in Big Sky, which was a little shack, basically, running with like 2 guides, a driver, and a couple vehicles. And from then, it kind of expanded from there. I think a big turning point for Montana Whitewater was probably 2008 when Bill purchased Yellowstone Raft Company. And he also, with that deal, got Karst Camp halfway through the canyon. So an additional put-in area where he was kind of really able to expand the permits and being able to run more people down the river. And that kind of changed things in the canyon for sure. And from that, I mean, it's kind of stuck with rafting from 92 till about then. And then he added ziplining because Bill is a eccentric creature who likes to build his own little world of adventure. So he started learning about zip lines. He ended up getting certified, built a zip line course at Rockhaven Camp right in the canyon there, which is a youth church camp with First Presbyterian through the summertime. And so he built a zip line course there, and we kind of share revenue with them for scholarships for local kids to go to that summer camp, which is awesome. Ziplining expanded over to our operation in Gardner as well, where we had a rafting shop as well. We kind of got a little shack out there. Eventually got our current office now. And yeah, the ziplining expanded, kind of ran with that for a little while. And then 2012, we opened Madison River Tubing right in downtown Bozeman to start running tube trips on the Madison to hopefully cut down on parking and traffic and DUIs on the road out at the Madison. And that's just been slowly growing over the years as a service for rental equipment and shuttling services out on the Madison for folks in Bozeman. And then a big kind of shift was December of 2023. We purchased Geyser Whitewater, which was our only competitor on the Gallatin River.
Oh, wow.
So we absorbed that company, absorbed those permits, and now we're the only outfitter on the Gallatin. So it's kind of been a slow growth, but in the past 10 years or so, it's definitely picked up and kind of ran with the growth that Bozeman and this whole area has seen as well. So we're trying to keep up with the times a little bit.
Very cool. I want to start with the rafting and then ask you about the zip line.
Yeah.
If somebody's local or visiting Bozeman, is there any reason they would pick the Madison over the Gallatin?
Well, yeah, for sure. Madison that river was made for tubing. So, and it's great because it kind of facilitates families with younger kids. So we offer ages 3 and up to go down the tubing trips on the Madison. Not really any whitewater, really great lazy river float. The shuttle from Bozeman out to the Madison and back that we run from our downtown Bozeman office is really appealing to a lot of folks that are local in Bozeman, so they don't have to drive, which is why we operate. Whereas on the Gallatin, you're getting great whitewater and you're going on a raft trip, which is ages 6 and up. So kind of, I guess, more so that age requirement for a lot of the families visiting and that live here, it just kind of depends on what they're looking to do.
So Madison, is it strictly tubes, or do you do rafts on the Madison?
Yeah, we send rafts out on the lower Madison as well, for folks that don't want to be in a tube, which is just kind of a preference thing for some folks where they want their whole family in one boat instead of their individual tubes. But we do tie groups together, so you're kind of floating together as kind of a little barge. We also are one of 2 outfitters that hold a commercial permit on the Bear Trap Canyon, which is the upper level. Well, from Innis Lake, I wouldn't call it the upper Madison because that's above the lake, but the takeout of the Bear Trap is the start of the tubing trip. So the Bear Trap is a wilderness area with great whitewater, and it's a limited permit that we have, but we love it. And it's a wilderness area. It's an exclusive permit, and it's an awesome trip if people are looking to do something like that as well.
Very cool. So you said 6 and up on the Gallatin and 3?
Yeah, 3
Madison?
for the tubing, yeah.
Okay. And you do rafts if wanted on the Madison, but the Gallatin's strictly rafts, and that's more whitewater.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely don't want to be tubing on the Gallatin.
Yeah. And then the Yellowstone, what about out there? Is that tubes and rafts?
We do rafts only on the Yellowstone as well.
Okay.
So, and it's a kind of a really nice kind of whole picture of Montana whitewater. The Yellowstone has really great, like a wide, deep, high volume river. So it's really nice and splashy. It's right outside of the park. So it's definitely more accessible for folks that are going to Yellowstone National Park. And it's a great introduction to whitewater. Like I said, it's super splashy. It's great. It's really convenient to be right in Gardner, right in town there outside the North Gate. And whereas the Gallatin, it is definitely more technical whitewater. It's a different style of river and different style of rafting. So we can kind of accommodate really whatever anybody is looking to do at any given point on any of the rivers. But rafts on the Gallatin and the Yellowstone, and then tubes and some rafts on the Madison.
Okay. And the Gallatin, whoever's going needs to get to your place in the canyon there?
Yeah, that's pretty much across the board for all of our trips at any office except for the tubing trips. We offer a couple different kinds of trips. But if you're going rafting or ziplining, you'll meet us at either of their offices wherever you've booked at. And we kind of deal with all the equipment and getting you all checked in. And we handle the shuttling from that point on. So we'll bring you back to the office.
And so, like if you're in Bozeman, the quickest to not have to drive out there is to go right here in town and go on the Madison.
Yep, right to town. We're right across the street from the high school, right on the corner there, and it's a super easy location to walk to from pretty much anywhere in downtown Bozeman, and it's great. We're actually in the process of building a new tube shop, kind of farther down on Huffine behind Bridger Orthopedic across the street from Rose Hours.
Okay.
So that'll be our new home, hopefully in summer 2026. But yeah, that's the easiest way for pretty much anybody to do anything is just go to the tube shop and hitch a ride and we'll bring you back.
Okay. And then as far as the rafting at Yellowstone or Yellowstone, Gallatin, Madison, it's kind of preference of what you're looking for as far, or where you happen to be.
Yeah, I think location is the biggest thing for folks, especially if they're traveling to our area. It's hard to wrap their head around how much driving is involved with pretty much doing anything out here, and even just being in the park. It's a lot of driving. So it's definitely locale driven. If they're closer to somewhere, we're going to want them to be the most convenient to where they're looking. But we have people that drive and want to go to a specific office for a specific trip.
Right on. What's the seasonality generally? Because I know river conditions depend.
Yeah, it definitely depends. It's super weather dependent. The rafting generally across the board for the Yellowstone and the Gallatin, we're going to open in early May. It is cold. The water is cold. So we do give folks the full, we call it their little matching outfit. So we give them the full getup of a heavy duty rain jacket, a splash top. We give them a wetsuit and we give them water booties. And that is all free of charge because we want people to have that no matter what. And they can have that in July and August. They're always going to be available and they're always free. Unfortunately, in my opinion, the best time to go rafting is the worst weather it is outside. So the water's cold. It's usually rainy and cold in May, but it is some of the best rafting because we have higher water coming off of snowmelt. And then we run pretty much through mid-September, depending on the water levels and the weather as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anything you recommend for anyone, regardless of where they're going, just how to prepare themselves or what to bring or anything to do and not to do?
Yeah. I would definitely, calling our office is the best thing, honestly, to do because in the office, especially in the canyon, which is where the majority of our folks are calling into, the folks that we have working in the office absolutely crush it. We don't have knowledge just on what Montana Whitewater office offers across the board. We know hotels, we know recommendations for hot springs, when things open, when things close, especially in those shoulder seasons, in those Mays and Septembers where a lot of kids are going back to school or not out of school yet, and we're kind of not fully out of winter mode, but not fully into summer mode here in Montana. Calling into the office and talking to the staff with us is a huge resource that a lot of folks do use.
Yeah, just local knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. What's open, what's happening, what's not, and what's available. Because it's hard to realize that it still might be snowing in May here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
How about the zip line?
Zipline runs pretty much on the same program. Yeah, mid-May to mid-September. We're open 7 days a week at both offices. We run multiple trip times all throughout the day, so it's pretty accommodating. And yeah, I mean, especially at the Gallatin, it's great. You go over the river a couple times. It's absolutely beautiful at Rock Haven Camp. Out on the Yellowstone and Gardner, our tour out there, we lease that property from Wilderness Connection, which is Sturmit's Ranch. It's like a fifth generation Montana family on that property. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's just a really great experience. Some folks just don't have a thing for water, so we like to be able to offer something to them as well.
Is there a good way, or is it possible to stack both in the same day?
Oh yeah. That's what we call the zip and dip. People love it. Especially like giving people an opportunity to get out of their car for the day from the park and do a full day of activities with Montana Whitewater and have it be in the same place with the same company out of the same office. It's super nice to do a zipline tour in the morning when it's a little bit cooler out, and to have a little break for lunch in between, and then go rafting in the afternoon, and then you're back to wherever you're at for dinner and a nice hot shower, hopefully.
Yeah, sounds like a good day. Maybe hot springs after.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure people can call and ask this, but I'm just curious too. Do you recommend people bring lunch on one of those days? Do you guys have any lunch there for them?
Yeah, so depends on the office. Gardner, we're right in town. So we're next to all the little local eateries right in Gardner that we really try to push folks to help everybody in town. We like to share the wealth a little bit. In the Gallatin, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. So we partner with a local provider here, orders up for some grab-and-go sandwiches and snacks in the office. Oh, nice. So folks can always have that, but we always give them the option. We have plenty of picnic tables and stuff around the shop to be able to bring lunch if that's something that they wanted to do too.
Very cool. What do you guys do in the wintertime? Prepare for the next season?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I get that question a lot, especially since I'm a year-round employee for a summer seasonal business. Once we wrap up, we have a lot of properties, so we take care of all the properties and close up for the season. We all kind of work out of Bozeman in the winter. Pretty much leading up into the fall, having all these offices, we operate on a lot of different rivers. So we have a lot of permits with a lot of government agencies. So reporting for all of our users, making sure our permits are correct, and we're reporting for everything that we need to, getting all those submitted to make sure that we're good to go for next year. Closing up the books for the year. And then pretty much once the winter hits, we start hiring and it starts all over again. Yeah. We get the books built out, we get the pricing set, we deal with websites, all the HR, all the operational stuff. It's pretty much full planning mode.
Yeah. Because my company is pretty seasonal as well. Mm-hmm. We're open year round, but we have very slow seasons. And yeah. Someone said to look at it as a 12-year business that has deliverables 6 months out of the year.
Correct.
I mean, I thought that was a great way of phrasing it.
Yeah, for sure. I like to think about it like once May 15th hits, especially for me running the operations, once May 15th hits, like the train is running. Yeah. You might be able to get behind the wheel and make some small changes here and there, but your winter is when you're making decisions 6 months in advance. And once you hit that season, like the train is running. It is not stopping. So it's a lot of planning. It's a lot of thinking ahead. It's a lot of diligent notes taken in the summertime of being like, oh yeah, what things can we maybe want to change for next year, and be able to implement them in the winter. So when we hit the summertime, we're ready to go.
Yeah, for sure. How short notice can someone book with y'all?
I have people that walk in and go rafting within a half hour.
Oh, nice. And how far out will people book?
I have people already calling me for August 2026.
Nice.
But I will say that train is not running yet for 2026. So I get through the season, get my permits rolling, get my pricing set for the next year, and our books for 2026 will open the fall prior. So we're focusing on 2025 right now.
Had somebody like a month ago book for December 20th. of this year. I'm like, all right, okay.
Sounds good.
We got some work coming in.
Yeah, that's super nice. I love it.
Yeah, anyway. What's your favorite part about doing this?
I have a lot of favorite parts. Operationally, I love the people that we hire and the people that stick around, and being able to give people an opportunity to get outside. That's a huge part of why I do what I do. I got into rafting 12 years ago, back east. Well, I wouldn't say back east, in Appalachia. I'm from Ohio.
Okay.
I kind of randomly got into rafting out of nowhere. I had a buddy who got a job with our company and was like, oh, I'm transferring to Utah. I'm going to be a whitewater raft guide in the summer, and I'll go to school in the school year. I was like, that sounds pretty cool. I think I could do that. And I typed in, literally in Google, I was like, oh, well, whitewater rafting closest to me. Found a company down in Southwest Pennsylvania. Never been in a raft before, never seen whitewater before. And I was like, this sounds sweet. Signed myself up, and it's been a long 12 years. So just coming from that background, which a lot of our clients are coming from as well, that this is an area and a place and an activity and an experience that they have never even thought about or knew that existed. So I think my favorite part is being able to essentially be an access provider to people that don't have access to these type of things.
Very cool. Did you guide yourself for a while?
Yeah, I guided on the Youghiogheny River in Southwest PA for 5 summers with Wilderness Voyagers, and I kind of jumped on a bandwagon of a bunch of us river guides coming out to work at Big Sky in the winter. We were all dirtbag lifties, and I ended up kind of stumbling upon the job at Montana Whitewater, and Bill took a shot on me, and I have been here ever since.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Can you debunk any myths about raft guides? Or any stigmas? I just hear things. I don't know.
Well, you know, stereotypes usually exist for a reason. They are a good bunch, and they do like to play hard, and they work hard. It's definitely an industry where I think it's really changing, and where I'm hoping to facilitate that change, where the outdoor rec industry and working as a guide is looked at and understood as a truly professional job.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I don't think there's really any other industry that you're basically doing manual labor in the elements, you're doing risk management, you're giving customer service, you're doing all those things, and we're first responders in an incident, which risk is always involved in the activities that we do. So I think it's a very special industry. But of course, we're all kind of misfits.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
That stereotype definitely exists for a reason. It takes a special kind of person to be in seasonal work, especially raft guiding. It is hard work, but it is rewarding work. So yeah, I don't think I could debunk anything, because they're all pretty much true, but hopefully we're getting paid better, which I know that we pay our folks really well, or hope that we are, and we give them professional certifications to hopefully be able to give them the opportunity to go anywhere in the world and walk in and be a great guide for somebody. So definitely still like to party hard though.
Sure. I know as owning a company of transportation that the right driver can make or break the entire experience.
Oh yeah.
And a raft guide, like it's very important. You know, a terrible driver, a terrible guide can just ruin an experience or make a terrible experience amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Thankfully, we're in the business of people are usually in a good mood when they show up. They're on vacation. They're about to do something awesome. But again, there's risk involved in what we do. Yeah. So a good day can turn into a bad day very quickly. And the guide staff are the people on the front lines to be able to mitigate those things. So having great people is a huge part of a successful company in the industry, for sure. For
sure. Very cool. Where can everyone find you on social? What's your website? What's the best way?
MontanaWhitewater.com. That's our big website. It has all the information across all the offices, the activities. There's some weird, funky stuff on there for our blogs and random stuff that has been added over the years. Instagram is MT Whitewater, and same with Facebook. So cool. We're out there.
Anything else anyone should know? Anything you guys are looking for, need help with, or doing in the community? Or
we do a lot with the community, a lot of school groups, a lot of business groups that want to do some team building. That's kind of where I want to focus a lot more too, because with how much Bozeman is growing, and I know a lot of our folks can go out on the rivers on their own and do their own thing. My kind of focus right now is doing a lot more community work and helping out local nonprofits. Whether that's giving them free trips for auctions or donations for fundraising efforts or getting their folks out on the water. I think it's really important, not just for us to provide access to people coming from all over to these activities. It's also for people that in town and in Bozeman and Big Sky to be able to afford and be able to experience these awesome things in their town as well.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Cool. You gave me the website, gave me the Instagram. I'll put it all in the caption, and
Yay.
hopefully more people find you.
I hope so. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to work with anybody.
Cool. Thanks, Melanie. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.